name's Jeff Salisbury, and I'm a member of the Customer Experience Team, or CX for short. We are part of the post-sales process, so after a company has bought licenses for one of the different EDA softwares, we essentially work in tandem with the applications engineers, or the AEs, in helping to support the individual designers at those different accounts. We also help the AEs plan their on-site visits. We follow up with any different type of like webinar, technical paper release, other items like that. So we do primarily post-sales work in that sense. Siemens EDA provides electronic design automation software specific to the semiconductor design industry. So essentially, any companies globally that design microchips, micro devices, we provide the software that they use in order to be able to automate those processes to make it simply easier and remove some of the human error from that entire design process. Typical day is coming in and checking for any emails that have come in from any designers that are either looking for assistance, or maybe if I'd done follow-up to a webinar that had happened, seeing if any designers have emailed in saying that they're interested in taking a further look at that particular piece of software. Then it is checking in on any of the accounts that I manage. So we tend to be sort of the organizers for the different accounts. We work in tandem with the applications engineers and with some of the members of the sales team in trying to keep everything organized with regards to not only supporting existing users within the account, but also looking to try and bring in new users. So designers that might not currently be using a particular tool, but it might be relevant to their work. So we would reach out to those designers, seeing if they would have an interest in taking a look at the software that's already available to them. I didn't exactly have a plan when I finished university, to be honest. You know, and I kind of came out like a deer in the headlights, so to speak. My initial career path took me into places that weren't great, into like working at banks and working at automotive dealerships. But I sort of found myself attracted to the tech side of things in the city. Saskatoon is interesting because it's almost like Silicon Prairies, if you will. There's so many tech firms and tech startups from this city. There's a lot of opportunity to get into this area of the marketplace. So yeah, I actually landed a job at another tech firm in the city on the sales side. And from there, made my way over to another one of the tech firms in the city, more on the sales side with them as well. And then eventually, through actually a couple of neighbors, it's funny, they lived in the same condo complex as me, let me know that they were looking for people here at Siemens EDA Saskatoon, and so ended up finding my way on to the CX team, which has been awesome. It's been fantastic. I ended up getting a BCom at the Edwards School of Business at the U of S, which is funny because I initially started off in arts and science, doing the Royal Arts tour, if you will, and took a year off to kind of figure things out, see if that's the direction I really wanted to go. Worked two of the worst jobs of my life, which really motivated me to get back to school. And yeah, ended up following advice of a number of friends saying, man, you really should go to the College of Comm. I think that would fit you really well. And I did. And yeah, it just worked out really well. Ended up with my BCom and kind of came out and have been able to use that to be able to land a number of jobs ever since. So I didn't have any specific training for the tech field necessarily, but just having technical acumen, I guess, just on my own. You know, just knowing kind of how software functions and what the SaaS software model looks like. Just kind of knowing what that world looks like, it made it easy to move into the technical field. You really can't stress how important it is once you get into, you know, the everyday working world, that you really have that team player cooperative mindset. We wouldn't be able to provide the level of service that we do to the accounts in our customer base if we didn't focus very heavily on working as a team, working as a unit. Making sure that you have good writing skills is important. My role is done very, very heavily through email. We pretty well never have to make phone calls. It's primarily always through email. So making sure that you can write, an easily understood email is very, very critical. In working with the types of individuals that we work with, so engineers, software engineers, and designers, it's really important to make sure that your communication is very concise and very clear. The work we do is honestly helping the world progress, if you look at it. So by empowering the designers that we work with better software, better tools to be able to do their work more efficiently, it's allowing them to be able to design better micro devices that are being used in really important equipment. So we work with a customer that works on medical technology, and some of the devices that they design end up going into advanced models of pacemakers. It really ultimately comes down to, allowing the world to progress with better technology to be able to help more people. There's going to be more and more tech-based careers coming up in Saskatoon. And again, it's because we are a tech hub in the prairies. Our site, the Siemens EDA Saskatoon site, has been recognized by Siemens AG, the global corporation, as what they call a center of excellence. So that means they're going to be focusing a lot of investment on this specific office site. And they're going, as far as I understand, they're going to be partnering with a lot of the post-secondary education institutions to try and help foster an environment that will allow students to more easily move into technical roles, whether it is something more in the line of what I do, which is just working with those individual designers in an assistance capacity, or what the AEs do, which is a much more technical type role where they actually need to know the basics of electrical engineering and micro device design in order to be able to work with those individual designers. So the outlook is huge. There's going to be a lot of positions becoming available over the next number of years, and there are going to be more startups coming out of Innovation Place. So yeah, it's definitely an area that's going to keep growing. I think that a really important thing is to make sure that you network early on. And what I mean by that is, if there are job fairs, things like that, where you might not be in a place right now where you are going to be graduating right away type thing, but you can go and start meeting people that are involved in these different organizations. Tech organizations in the city do that because, a lot of the way that people ultimately get hired into firms in general is through networking. It's the way that I ended up getting this position. Like I said, two of my neighbors happen to be working here, and speaking with them, they let me know that this position was available, got me connected with the manager of our CX team, and I ultimately ended up getting the job. You know the old adage where they say the grass isn't always greener? This is the greenest the grass ever gets. I have worked at a number of different tech firms in the city, and I've experienced what the different environments are like, and nowhere comes close to how awesome of a place this is to be. There are people that are involved in Siemens EDA who started initially as just an applications engineer working on a few different accounts, and they've moved all the way up into being directors of entire departments within the company. So the ability to grow your career here is unmatched with what you would find with any of the other firms in the city, just because of the massive size of the corporation that is Siemens in general. So this is the place to be.